This is a part 2 of a message that I made when I said that it's you that's changing, it's you that's evolving, it's you that's growing and thriving. To piggyback from that message, when you set boundaries in your life, whether that's no contact or you put your foot down about certain things that you would no longer allow, if you have kids, that means that these kids either going to follow your lead, and you have to be sure that those said people that you set that heavy boundary with no longer is operating in that similar light that they did with you with your children. So in doing that, I did not involve my daughter to the specifics of the pain, and which caused me to set such heavy boundary. And before I could even set that boundary, I must be clear that this was the most difficult, challenging experience in my life. It brought so much anxiety and sadness to me because I wasn't certain if this was a good idea, because this is new. But my soul was calling me to set a heavy boundary, to put my foot down. So in doing that, like I said, I did not disclose the severity in which the pain that was caused why I am setting this heavy boundary to my daughter. I just expressed to her that, hey, going forward, we're going to pull back in this area of our life, because I am finding discomfort, and I'm not being supported, and I'm not being respected in this area of my life. So I am going to pull my energy back and just focus on myself and what is in alignment in my path, and see where that goes. This wasn't to dehumanize anyone or to throw away the key to any connections that I have. This is just me falling back into alignment with what is best for me. So in doing that, I didn't share with anyone that my biggest fear was that my daughter was going to suffer the consequences of my actions. I was aware that that's a possibility that could happen, because when you set these boundaries, especially with family members, part of the reason of the boundaries is because of the behavior in which they show up, that is consistent, that is like, you inevitably know that the way that this person shows up in your life is causing harm to your mental, your physical, spiritual. You're like it is causing discomfort and discord, so you put a stop to it. Now, when I was processing that, I was praying and hoping that, the love was genuine enough that my daughter didn't suffer any consequences in my actions. Of course, it's my daughter, which means that this said person that is a family member plays a very important role into my daughter's life. And I thought that love conquers all, and these other individuals that play a part in my life would always have compassion, always have joy, always have love in their heart, to never put kids in the midst of adults issues. I just always thought that because I am connected to you, and because I have displayed my my love language, or just like my ways of my beliefs, my desires in this life, I wholeheartedly believe that to that extent, kids would be eliminated from, no matter what. We would gather, and we would respect each other's wishes and boundaries. But when it came to our children, we wouldn't involve them heavily in our decision making skills, and we will allow them to exist. Now it's 2025, which means that all the kids have cell phones, all the kids have ways of connecting with one another without us having to, be involved. My daughter has a phone. She can contact whoever family member, whatever family member she's so desire. And in doing that, my daughter has been outcast. And on yesterday, she shared something with me that hurt her feelings, because she's constantly reaching out to people. And although I set a heavy disconnect boundary of no contact with other adults, they have decided to, hey, let's tell our kids that stay away from that person's child as well. And this was in my mind that it could possibly happen. I did think of this, but I also thought so highly of them that they would never. No, they would never. They wouldn't do that to my daughter. She doesn't have any siblings. I'm a single mom. They would not do that to her. They still love me. They just aren't able to resonate with what I am resonating with in my life. They love my daughter. They wouldn't dare. But in fact, they did. They have went as far as to communicate with their children and let them children know to be in disconnect with my child. And so my child is questioning, like, hey, Ma, I keep reaching out to my cousins and they aren't responding to me. I even wish them happy birthday and I love them. I get nothing. I am being left on red. And it's hurting my daughter's feelings, which essentially is definitely hurting mine, because I am extremely I am extremely emotional and sensitive when it comes to my child. And that is because, she's mine. And I don't care if I have to do everything in my power to make sure she doesn't have the same experiences that I had as a child. I'm going to do that. And I'm okay with saying that I am going to do that, because that is what's best for my daughter. I'm going to teach her how to not self-sacrifice herself for the love of people who don't even value her. I'm going to make sure she always chooses herself first, and not choosing anyone else in fear that they aren't going to choose you, so you sacrifice yourself and your emotions and your feelings just to be liked and loved. I'm no longer doing that. That's how I was raised to operate, and I have decided that I am not doing that. So I'm saying I am making this message because I am in the thick of this another healing. Like I said, healing is not linear. It is constant up and downs. One minute you're up, next minute you're down, but you have to really work through these things that you're healing. And now that my daughter is heavily involved, there's people retaliating to her, family members that I thought loved her, and my daughter exudes so much love and emotion to others that she really don't understand. She don't understand. So when you choose to not talk to another child, and you choose to go above and beyond to tell your children, hey, do not connect to another child, you got to understand that is the very essence of why I'm in no contact with you. Because how dare you have the audacity to build up the courage, the words, the vibration to tell another child to stay out of contact with one of their favorites. I grew up in a house full of children. So I've always had siblings. I've always had someone in a room next to me, or even in a bed next to me. My daughter doesn't have that. So to see how much I value family, and I value kids, and I'm always supporting kids, and I'm always showing up, whatever it is for them.